Make sure that joint ticking.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Woo! All right.
I think this is our last day of summer, yo.
Last day of summer.
It's hot today.
Yeah, it's nice outside.
Yeah.
I ain't really been out, but I've been to the door. The sun is shining.
It's like 86, 87 out there. Well, it was.
Well, in this world today, any day could be summer. Any day could be winter, So,
yeah.
I don't even know why we got seasons anymore. Last week it was what, in the 60s and 70s? Chilly, cold, rainy. Now we back to the sunshine and the warmth again.
And it's crazy because talking about the weather, like I've never, a lot of times you talk to people that talk about how much they miss or wish that they can experience all 4 seasons. Because, based on where you live, you don't experience different changes.
Yeah, I lived in Florida for 5 years.
I've never lived anywhere but here. You know what I mean? Like I visited, but not where to the point where I'm not coming back and, still seeing that whole seasonal change. So, that would be I guess some type of transition.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? To go somewhere where it's basically the same all the time.
Basically when I was in Florida, it's always hot in Florida.
Right.
And like November, December, you out cooking out, and it was just strange to me at first. I was like, man, here it is. Like down there, November is the most perfect weather ever. 70 degrees, a slight breeze, and sun shining. And you talking about Thanksgiving. When up here, people freezing, they got coats on, and might be snow on the ground. So yeah, it's definitely a little culture shock when you move into those different climates, and it's all year round, you know. But it was at times where it was so hot, I was like, whew,
I wish I was back home.
I need this thing to cool off a little bit. But then when you come home, you like, shh, the snow. I wish I was back in Florida. So
and see, that's what that's what I'm wondering. Like, would I be like, would I miss it? You know what I mean? Like that.
But you know
nice
what?
To see the snow.
If I had to make a choice, I would want to see all four seasons. Yeah. It's cool living in that climate all year round. It's cool, but change is good. Change is good. You know, like right now we going through the autumn and the fall, and you can feel it. You know what I mean? You feel Halloween coming around, and you
can tell it's a change.
You can
when
tell
you somewhere that it's the same all the time. It's like. You can't tell unless you look at the calendar. You know what I mean? But I wonder if people, because there's literally people that have never seen snow. Just like I'm saying, I've never, like I do a lot of traveling, so I get to experience different climates. But there's people that never traveled really.
It definitely
and they is. In, a hot climate, they've never seen snow physically themselves. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So that's
true.
That's crazy.
I've come across a lot of people that say that, like, Dad, you from up north? How's the snow and this, that? It's like, it's cool. I love the snow. So that's one thing I like about the winter. I love the snow. I've always loved the snow. Ever since I was a kid, I loved the snow. Like up until right now, I don't mind going out shoveling and all that because I love the snow. So, but with that cold weather comes the flu, getting sick. And, so you got to take care of yourself, with these different climates. And, I was just at the doctor last week, got flu shots, follow up on some things, some concerning issues, and came across some not so good news, bro. Not so good news. So make sure y'all stay on top of y'all health. Make sure y'all go see y'all doctors, check up, follow up, inform your people. Tell your people what's going on. Me and my brother, we was just talking today about some stuff that I was going through and that I'm currently going through. And he was like, yeah, you might have said it, but you ain't say it with urgency, you know, you just gradually said it, you know, casually. So make sure you keep your people informed with everything too. And do your research, do your own research. Research what's going on with your health. You know, the doctors, they'll tell you one thing, but it's your responsibility and your health and your body to make sure everything is going in the direction that it's supposed to go in. So
yeah, because I mean, you know, it's there's a lot of doctors out here, and doctors get ratings, and just like any other position,
it's a business,
right? So it's imperative for you to, like you just said, you got to do your own research, because you don't know. I mean, for real, you don't know where your doctor is in the pecking order of good doctors. To you know what I mean? Yeah. Like most doctors not horrible, right? But when you talking about your health, you want great,
right?
So where's your doctor at from good to great? You don't even know where it is. So it's up to you to do your own research and bring it to the doctor. So if they are good, you can help them be great when it comes to your health.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing. Like, you can't go to the doctor and just expect the doctor to diagnose everything. Right. You know, you gotta, all right, doc, this is what's going on, that's what's going on, and let the doctor give you all the information. Then you could take all the information, do your own research, and then go back to the doctor and be like, all right, let's try this, that, you know what I mean, here, there, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
You know, it's a partnership, for real. A lot of people, they just go to the doctor write this script, and that's it. They out, they popping pills, a lot of stuff that they don't even need. Like, my doctor gave me a script last week for something, nothing major, just something slight. And I came home, did the research. I'm like, this ain't even doing nothing. This just disguising it. I was like, man, I'm not taking this.
Right.
So you gotta do your research. You know what I mean? You gotta do your research. You can't be lazy, man. You can't be lazy, man.
And that's why they have, like, you know, a lot of people, you know, we've all heard it, you know, oh, get a second opinion.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And that's just because, again, you want, you know, other eyes on it. Somebody might have a different, you know, expertise with something else that you're dealing with. You know what I mean? And they'll come at something, so you wouldn't even, they would never prescribe you what that doctor said might, you know what I mean? So, like you said, doing the research, knowing, going back, having a conversation, and putting a plan together, you know, with you and your doctor. Right. That's the proper way to do it.
And to touch on what you just said, getting a second opinion, you know what I'm going through. Right. I went Thursday, and when I came home, I was like, I want a second opinion. You know what I mean? Actually, what happened Friday, that was my second opinion. Right. You know what I mean? So they ran all those tests and everything, and I got my second opinion. Right. So you definitely want to get a second opinion on it. Anything that's serious, you definitely want to get a second opinion, because you never know. Because what we found Thursday, it was alarming, but it actually wasn't what it was cut out, what thought it would cut out to be, because the second opinion came through. Right. But at the end of the day, there was something. Right, so, but yeah, man, stay on top of your health, man. You know, how you feeling, man? Your health cool? Everything good?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. You know, I've been trying to, you know, like we talked about before, but last few years I've been trying to be. I vowed to myself, and I know some people out there that say the same thing. You know, as you start to progress through the age, you know what I mean, calendar. You know, I was like, man, when I turn 50, because, you know, when I was 30, 35, like it was whatever.
Yeah.
Eat whatever. I mean, it was just whatever.
Stay up all night, bounce back up early the next day.
But I vowed to myself when I turned 50 that I was going to start being better. And I didn't really do it. You know what I mean? I didn't start probably till I was like, you know, 52. You know what I mean? Is when I was like, all right, you know, let me start. And I think a part of that is, like you just said, like I went to the doctor and I got some reports that wasn't stellar. before it was everything was pristine.
Everything fine. Yeah.
But then when I came, like, well, you know what? She started talking about putting me on medicine. I'm like,
that was an eye opener.
Right. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, let me, okay, boom, give me the medicine. But what can I do to not have to take the medicine?
Right.
You need to do boop, boop, boop. And I started putting that stuff into play. So, thank God right now, everything good.
And that's what we want to do here. We want to be an advocate for the 50 and over. We want to bring value to the people that's 50 and over. We want to share our experiences with the people that's 50 and over, because we're pretty sure that there's people out there that's watching or tuned in that can relate to some of the things that we've been through.
Yeah.
And we just want to, try to help the 50 and over age group to excel, to learn, to, progress, not give up, and keep going. You know what I mean? So that's the track that we on, being advocates for that.
And for those that hasn't reached that milestone yet, it's something for you to take in so you can do better before you get there.
Exactly. Yep.
Because a lot of people, and we know some, don't even make it to 50.
Don't even make it, man.
Because they thought they had so much time, and you so used to just doing whatever.
Yep.
But something come up, you haven't been taking care of your health, you haven't been going to the doctor regularly, and something creep up on you and take you out of here.
Yep. So with that being said, we're back.
Yep.
Welcome to the pod. I'm your host, Dwayne Weathers.
It's your boy, Phil White.
We back, bro.
Yeah.
Another episode.
23.
Episode 23.
We had the Jordan episode.
Jordan, yeah, 23. This episode, we're going to talk about wisdom after 50. We're going to talk about some of the lessons times taught us. Some of the things that, that we went through, after 50. Some of the things y'all probably went through. Just discuss some of the stuff, once you hit that landmark, that 50. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, as we started off talking about health, we're going to just, continue with that, talk about prioritizing your health and your well-being. First, another thing that you got to realize that no one else will prioritize your health except for yourself.
Yeah.
You can have your
spouse
wife,
or
your mom, your daughter, your kids, but if you don't prioritize your health, nobody else is.
Yeah.
So
can't nobody do it for you.
Can't nobody do it for you. So you must take charge, of your physical and your mental well-being. You know what I mean? And that comes with a lot, yo.
Yeah. Because everybody, if you don't know, your mental health can lead to physical ailments.
Absolutely.
So it's imperative that both of them is being taken care of.
You got to take care of both of them, man. And your spiritual health also.
Yeah.
So all three of them combined, definitely plays a part in your life and how long you're going to live, how you react, how you respond, a lot of stuff, how your body, reacts to things, all that. So,
I think your spiritual well-being is parallel. It's an automatic help to your mental well-being.
Your faith is everything.
All like, and I don't care what your faith is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you really into whatever it is, and you really reading up on, whether it's Christianity, whether it's Islam, whatever it is, it's really dealing with your mental. You know what I mean? And how you go about different things that's, trying to impact you from the outside. How do you handle it? How do you, go about walking that line?
Well, first thing you gotta realize is that a lot of stuff you can't even control.
Yeah.
So you gotta control the controllables.
Right. And that's how you respond to what's happening.
And that's how you respond, and those are the pretty much the simple things.
Right.
The outcome of certain things, you have no control of that. You know what I mean? That's where you gotta put your faith in and your belief. You can work towards a goal and an outcome that you want, but it might not always come out that way. Right. So a lot of times that's when people start having anxiety, they start getting depressed. You know, I've definitely dealt with depression throughout my life, throughout the years. And you gotta know where that comes from. You know what I mean? You gotta tap in and know where that comes from. And that was one of the issues that I used to have when I used to get depressed. I didn't know exactly where it was coming from until I start figuring it out. You know what I mean? Once you figure that out, then you can deal with it a little bit. You know, everybody gets depressed and have anxiety in certain situations. It's just that there's different levels to it. So far as health wise, you know, us talking about health, you got to get proper rest, proper nutrition. I know one thing for me, hitting 50 and over, man, that rest thing,
kicked in.
Man, when I get that rest, I'm like, okay, I'm good to go. Let's go. You know, let's rock out. And they say 8 hours of sleep. Ain't nobody getting no 8 hours of sleep. That's the recommended amount of hours of sleep. Man, ain't nobody sleeping no 8 hours. People got too much to do. But what I've noticed with myself is, okay, I might not get 8 hours every day, but if you take maybe a day out of the week and really just chill, you know, you ain't gotta sleep. Just put everything.
Not a lot of. Don't exert a lot of energy.
Yeah, put everything to the side and just relax. Let your mind relax, let your body relax, and just chill. That helps a whole lot. You know what I mean? A whole lot. So I know one thing I definitely, and I'm pretty sure everybody out there watching and listening needs to do the same thing too, is work on the nutrition thing.
Right.
Because what we're eating is what's really killing us.
Right.
That cliche, you are what you eat, that is so true. So
and you know, I don't know if you know ever like really look at the vast differences in how food is prepared in different countries.
Oh yeah.
And I'm talking about, when I say prepared, I'm talking about like to the, you know, from the farm to the shelf.
Oh yeah.
Prepared.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So a lot of times, you know, it's from when we were younger to now, food is different.
Whole lot different.
You know what I mean? Like
steroids, all
like
kind
all
of stuff
this,
in the food.
like all this different stuff. So, you know, what you said is true. Like your nutrition, it's up to you to really identify what you can and should be consuming. You know what I mean? Now you don't gotta be. There's levels to it,
but it's hard though.
Oh no,
because when you on the go,
it's not easy.
It's easy to pull over to Wendy's or Burger King,
and the healthier you eat, the more expensive it is.
Exactly.
Especially when you want to go.
That is true. That's
you know what
just
I mean?
Period.
Right.
Period. I mean, the healthier you eat is expensive. Period. Whether you home or out. You know what I mean? So, and a lot of people can't afford to eat healthy. Right. So, you know,
but you gotta make a conscious effort, and that's why you know, like, you know, talk over the years, just talking to different people and watching. One thing I say, you know, talking about even weight gain. If I don't care what's going, I don't care who you are, I don't care how big you are, I don't care if you stop eating, you're gonna lose weight.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
so you saying ain't no excuse for the big people?
It's not that it's an excuse, but you can put your finger on why you're gaining weight.
Right.
It's what you're consuming.
Yeah.
So now you gotta
exercise too.
Well, yeah.
You gotta exercise.
90% of it is your diet.
Is your diet, yeah.
The 10% is, you know, getting out there and exercising and, you know, making sure you move and, you know, but you gotta put your finger on what am I consuming? When am I consuming it? That's another thing. Like a lot of people, like if you start, you know, digging into these dietitians and everybody, you can't eat at certain late nights, the snacks and all.
That's what I want to tap into, because one thing that I fear is getting, when you start forgetting stuff, what's it called?
You talking about dementia?
I got it already.
You talking about like dementia?
Dementia and it's another one. Dementia and I forget what it is. That's something I fear when I get older.
Right.
And I was doing some research, and you should stop eating 4 hours before you go to sleep. So your brain, because that does something for your brain. So I'm trying to stop eating after 7 o'clock. You know, just so I can get into those practices as you get older. And, you know, hitting 50 and being 50 and over, you got to change a lot, man. I mean, when I say you got to change a lot to live a healthy life, I mean, I know it's a lot of y'all out there that, you know, 50 is the new 30 and, you know, y'all look the part, y'all dressing the part, y'all spirits is up and feel good. But hey, man, don't take that shit for granted, man.
Yeah.
Your insides might be saying something different and you don't even know it. You know what I mean? I just went through something like that. So, and I'm going through it now. So your insides, your outside might look one way, but your inside's saying something else. So just try to start practicing some of those practices and some of those changes.
Yeah.
You know, like bone density. You know what I mean? Bone density. You don't want to be some frail little old elderly person when you fall.
One little fall
and boom. You know what I mean? So you got to get your calcium intake. You know, like I said, I was at the doctor last week. I had a vitamin D deficiency. So he put me on, you know, to get some supplements. Got my blood work done. Boom, my vitamin D is up. It's perfect now. I'm good. As you know, those two things are important as you get older. You know, your calcium, your vitamin D, you need that stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, y'all stay on point, man. We gonna be here to help y'all. You know, I'm definitely gonna give y'all everything that I'm going through and what's helping me, and the things that I'm doing. You know, taking vitamin D. That's the, I think it's the D3K2 vitamin D. Man, I got that blood work. I looked at them results. I was like, man, I'm good. You know what I mean? Me and my doctor went, he's like, yeah, you good, bro. Just keep taking that. So, you know, them supplements help, man.
Yeah.
They help. They help. You know,
that vitamin D, like a lot of us, but you know, because of our skin being so dark, you get it from the sun.
Yeah.
But it's hard for us to get it because we got a natural tint from the sun.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of us end up having to take vitamin D supplements.
Also, you know, physical activity with your health when you're over 50.
Yeah.
You definitely have to exercise. You know, a lot of us, especially the men, we have physical jobs, and a lot of guys like, no, I'm cool. I'm doing this and that and the third at work. And no, that ain't enough. You gotta train them muscles. You gotta do that cardio, keep your heart rate up. You know, you gotta stretch. You know what I mean? You know how people get out the bed, like I stretch every morning. I do this kind of Tai Chi stuff in the morning, what the Asians do in the morning, stretching and, you know, waking my body up and all that. I'm doing a lot of stuff that is gonna keep me living a long time, you know what I mean, and keeping me healthy. So, and it's a lot.
That's real important, man, because
it's a lot, man. It's
like,
a lot.
Like you said, like, especially, but you know, we can talk from that perspective because we've lived it, but man and women, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta, when you so used to being young and just doing whatever, it's a huge transition when you finally say, okay,
it's a huge change.
I want to, you know, do something different. If you haven't been, like you said, gradually working towards it, then you, one day you like, all right, boom, you talking about getting in the gym, you talking about changing what I eat, no more, you know, I'm so used to eating McDonald's every day. And
gotta change, man.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's, you know, it's something, but at the end of the day, you know, that it's going to be to help your longevity.
And here, like we said, we want to be the advocate for 50 and over. When you're 50, you're still relatively pretty young.
Yeah.
You know, most 50-year-olds, they still look good. They got good spirit. They healthy. You know, I work at the gym, and you know, I see them 70-plus-year-olds come in there. You know, they had their canes. They had their walkers, you know, paratransit dropping them off. They had caretakers with them. You know, they holding on. You know what I mean? But the thing is, they might have started too late.
Right.
You You know what I mean? They waited until the doctor told them, if you don't start doing this, and you know, they was already on crutches. And when you 50, you at that point where you can avoid all that. So start now. You know, you ain't got to do everything. But like he said with me, gradually just start doing more and more and more and more and more. And yeah, it's time consuming. Trust me, it is time consuming. It's time, but you got to find time. You got to cut some of them bad habits out and do some good habits so you can live a longer and healthier life. You know, when you sitting up in front of the TV watching Real Housewives of Atlanta or whatever, you could be doing something else for that 30 minutes. You know what I mean? You ain't gotta binge watch 4 or 5 episodes. You know what I mean? You could watch 2 or 3, and you know what I mean?
30 to 45
and that other hour, you could be doing something else to improve your health.
Walking or jogging.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And that's the easiest exercise, walking.
Yeah.
And one of the healthiest.
Yeah.
One of the healthiest.
It's crazy because, you know, when I started, you know, saying, all right, let me start doing some stuff with my health, on purpose. You know what I mean? Like you said, not because I'm working or no, I'm gonna cut that off and I'm gonna go do something strictly for my health.
Right.
When I got there, it was like, you know, like Queen, you know, my wife, she'd be like, oh yeah, walk. She start, you know, walking and stuff. I'm like, man, walking, I ain't gonna do nothing. In my mind, you know what I mean? But when I started doing my research, I'm like, yo, they like, no, if you just get it. So I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, like, huge difference.
Huge.
Just do what you're doing, but then add this walking to it.
Yeah, walking is one of the easiest and most effective exercises.
Because everybody can do it.
And everybody can do it. You know what I mean? And it's so simple and easy, you know? And, you know, make sure y'all out there that have spouses, girlfriends, husbands, wives, yo, get them to do it with you. You know what I mean? Because y'all want to live that long life together. You know what I mean? Y'all want to be healthy together. And why wouldn't you want to do it with your spouse, you know? So, yeah, man, we here, man. We here.
Do it together, encourage each other.
Encourage each other. You don't need no trainers. You don't need, if you got a spouse, y'all each other trainer. You got the internet with all the information you need. Y'all could tap in there together, boom. All right, yo, let's try this and rock out. And it's gonna be fun. And it's gonna make your relationship strong.
That's how we started. Like, no gym. Now we got gym memberships, but back then when we first got started, no gym memberships. We started with the boy. What's the boy name? Something T.
I know you talking about
Sean T.
Sean T, yeah.
The boy Sean T. That's when he started.
Remember Billy Banks back in the day?
Yeah. I remember Billy Banks. The boy Sean T. He had the joint like Focus 25 or something. He got several different programs. But we got that one program and we would just put it on, go into the basement and just together, just, you know what I mean, work on it. And we gradually got better because we started off struggling, you know what I mean? Like but you see yourself getting better and
you're going to progress.
You're going to progress. So,
you know, and it's funny that we talking about this health and thing and exercising and, you know, cardio and eating, because actually, if I wasn't as active as I have been and am, you know, riding my bike, going to the gym, I might have died, with my situation, So working out definitely can help save your life, you know what I mean? I ain't going to get into it too deep right now, but, you know, I had a situation where, you know, my life could have been taken, but fortunately and thankful that God spared it. But, and I was at the gym when it happened. So, you know, thankfully, you know, I was working out and exercising, and it probably saved my life. So make sure y'all, you know, 50 and over guys out there, y'all work out, do your cardio, at least try to start eating right. I know it's hard. You know, the ribs, the burgers, you know, all the stuff that we want to eat, but just make a conscious effort to try to just gradually start cutting some stuff out. You know what I mean?
You don't got to go cold turkey.
You ain't got to go cold turkey, but just gradually, you know. You know, I want to see all my 50 and older people live a long, healthy life. You know what I mean? Because we all came up together.
And that's the key.
You know?
We all, it's great to live a long life, but you want to be healthy while you live it.
Healthy.
You know what I mean? You don't want nobody, you know what I'm saying, for as long as you can. You don't want nobody have to wash you up and you can't get out the bed. There's a lot of people that's in that state.
Yeah, a lot
So
of
if you start putting some of these things into practice now
you'll be all right. When you get 70,
yeah, you know what I mean, you 80, you still, you know, moving
when
around.
you 70 or 80, the 70 or 80 will be the new 50.
Exactly.
You don't hear people saying 70, 80 to do 50. I want to be one of them that say 70, 80 to new 50.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Seriously.
Yeah.
So let's work on that, y'all.
Yep.
Let's work on that.
Prioritize your health.
Yeah. So anything you want to bring up, man, for the 50 and over crowd, bro? Anything you want to talk about?
I mean, we can talk about the just life lessons.
Life lessons.
Yeah, life lessons, y'all.
Life lessons,
which is
50 and over, huh?
Yeah, because and you know, when you're 20, you got life lessons. But when you got several decades in, it's a lot of lessons, man.
Oh yeah, you get lessons from the time you pop out the womb. You know, when you're a little kid and your parents say, "Don't touch that hot oven," you 2-3 years old, you like, nah, I ain't touching that no more. But like you said, you know, when you got 5 decades in of lessons, that's some experience, man, some knowledge.
And not only have you gone through it and gotten it, but now we at a place where you can look back and reflect on it. And that's what you know what I mean, like what we talked about, you know what I mean? Like just reflecting on some of the regrets you got, you know, some of the what ifs that come up.
Let's talk about the regrets first. Tap into some of the regrets. I know Jay-Z got a song talking about regrets. It's one of my favorite songs, and when I hear it, I always think about regrets. And I always ask myself, is there anything in my life that I've ever regretted? And of course, the answer everybody said, no, I don't regret nothing in my life
because it made me who I am.
Everything that I went through made me who I am.
Right.
And this, that, and the third, which is true. Because at the end of the day, you can't regret it because you can't go back and change it.
Right.
So you gotta. I ain't gonna say they regret it, but you gotta accept it.
Right.
You can't change it. If there was anything, that's something to think about that I would regret. It's plenty of things. It's a whole lot of things that I regret in my life that I ain't telling y'all. But and I'm sure all of us have some, you know, have things like that, that we regret that we did, and you know, wish we could have another shot at it. But y'all get where we going at with that.
I mean, so. Like, of course, like you said, there's a lot of regrets. A lot of you know, man, if I can go back, I would do a difference.
Right.
You know, but one thing, if I had like one that I could put my finger on, it would be put myself in a position where even and we talked about it. I don't think it was on camera, but we talked about it. I went to take the firefighter test. You know, I was going to become a firefighter. This is years ago.
Right.
And I go through the whole process. Now I had a record from I was 19, 20. You know, so got into, you know, gun charge, couple things, blemishes on my record.
Right.
But when I sat down to do the you know, try to become a firefighter, it was almost 20 years later after that incident. So it probably was like,
so you're like 40 something now.
It probably was like 15 years later.
Okay.
15 years later.
Late 30s.
Yeah. And I had at that time, you know, I'm married. I'm in a church for myself. Well, I was raised in a church, but it's a difference being raised in a church and going for yourself.
Absolutely.
I was in the church for myself. My nose was clean ever since. And I sat down and, did the whole interview. And if anybody is ever going to take that firefighter test, it ain't an easy test. And they give bonus points to people if you already a paramedic or if you was in the armed forces. Mm-hmm. So you get bonus points.
Right.
Well, I took the test. I didn't have any of that, but I was one of the highest scorers taking that test. So I sat down with the human resource lady.
Right.
And of course, they tell you too, when you go to take it, anything on your record. They don't care if it was expunged, all the different things you can do. They said, we need it down on paper because we're going to pull up everything.
They're going to find it.
Right.
Yeah, they're going to find it.
So I had everything down there. So I sit down with the human resource, and it was the girl that was doing me was the head of human resources. Mm-hmm. So she, running it down. She like, oh, I see you got this. So we going over everything. She was like, your test scores was so good. She was like, you one of the highest, test scores. And I'm looking at everything. And if anybody ever did it, y'all know what all you got to do. Like if you got blemishes and different stuff, you got to come with, what do they call it when you have people to vouch for you?
What, character person?
Yeah, like, that, what I'm saying? Okay. So, I had, different people, vouching for me over, last several years. So, she was going through all that. She was like, everything look good. You don't got no tickets or nothing for all this time. She was like, you should be good. You know what I mean? She was like, yeah, you should be good. You shouldn't have no problem, yada, yada, yada. Well, y'all know what happened. A couple weeks go by, I get the letter, and the letter say, and she did kind of mention it, but the letter said, like, we basically regret to inform you that, there was candidate A and candidate B.
Right.
Candidate A had a cleaner record, so we went with that direction.
So what was the regret, though?
The regret was getting myself even early in life
into all the BS,
getting caught up and getting get myself a record that, unbeknownst to me, at the time, of course, you don't know, you young, you just doing what you doing, but it's never going to go away. It's never going to not follow you. No, it's going to follow you for the rest of your life. 15 years later.
That's right.
And when I say I my nose was clean, like I didn't have no tickets or nothing.
Yeah.
But they went back to that and they looked at somebody that had none. Mm-hmm. And the dude that had something 15 years ago, let's go with the guy that had none.
Let's go with the clean guy.
You know what I mean? So that's one of my regrets if I have any.
And so if there's any younger people out there watching, make sure y'all take heed to that, because there's a lot of stuff that, y'all doing out here as young males and young females. We ain't gonna exclude the females, because y'all out there doing stuff too that's, gonna affect you in your life years down the line, I had a similar situation just like Phil, I had a plug right into the mint where James worked at. I had a plug. I ain't had to do nothing but just fill everything out.
Right.
That's all I had to do. I got you. Just fill everything out. I got you.
And it came back.
Woo! You know my rap sheet. Man, I got a phone call. She was like, yeah, she started running down my rap sheet. I said, man, don't even worry about it. I was like, it's cool. You ain't gotta go no further. And I hung up.
Right.
And that was a great opportunity that I could have had for, in a career path that I blew because of my negligence when I was young, so it follows you. I mean, they went back to juvenile.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Because this is a federal job, you know what I mean? And you're dealing with money. Yeah. So, hey, you can't hide it, you know what I mean? And these days, I mean, just look at social media, man. You can't get away with nothing no more. It's too many cameras. And everybody's a snitch. Yeah. Everybody got a camera. Everybody's snitching. Snitching is the new thing now. Or, I'm telling, or, they're going to take the footage and post it. And people even snitching on themselves these days. So,
big time.
Y'all younger people, y'all watch out. But
take heed. I mean, listening to, some of your old heads and you know, some of your season, you know, it don't got to be your parents. You know, of course, we was the same way. You know, your parents always, you know, hating on you. They don't want you to be great. I know. You know what I mean? But they got wisdom that they trying to give you, but it's hard to receive it. But so, you know, listen to some people that's slightly older, some older aunts and uncles, you know, that's trying to give you some game, because if you can avoid some of those pitfalls, and most of this stuff happened, you know, in a little 3, 4, 5 year period of you just wilding out and messing up, but it's gonna follow you forever.
That 18 to 25, them years, they some important years in your life, man. They the years that pretty much structure where you gonna go in life, you know what I mean, as an adult.
I remember I had a, I don't know if I ever told you this, John, but I had got a job with UPS. That was a young buck. So I get this UPS job. I'm like, oh, bet. You know what I mean? I'm in. And I'm working out. I don't know where I was at. This was years ago, but you know, I'm working. So they kind of show you, you know, what you're doing. And you know, y'all know UPS is huge. So there's a lot of different places you can be.
Right.
So I'm where they put me at. So I'm flowing. I'm catching on. So I get work one night, come the next night, work another night. It's like my third night working. And one of the supervisors, you know, that's, you know, in the area he working, he like, so he see me flowing. He like, yo, what area you coming? Where you coming from before you got here? I'm like, no, I just started 3 days ago. He like, what? He like, oh yeah, you gonna work out. He like, yeah, you flowing. He's like, I thought you was coming from another department. Like,
right, thought you was already there.
I was seasoned. I'm like, no, I just got here 3 days. He like, oh yeah, you go. Well, long story short, yo, like the 5th day, yo,
burnt you out, yo.
No, the 5th day I come to work, I'm flowing, just like another night. All of a sudden, I see somebody walking up the corridor, yo, like toward we was like, I don't know what I was doing, but it was like whatever we was doing, we was preparing the trucks that go out. So I see somebody walking up, don't look like none of us. Boy got a dress shirt on with a tie, and I see him walking like he like he's eyeballing me. I'm like, uh-oh.
Right.
Boy come up like, yeah, Mr. White, we're gonna need to see you over here. So he like, yeah, you filled out your application and you said, you know, you ain't had nothing.
You know, I want to interrupt you though, because when we was young, and you know, we built up those rap sheets. We was lying our asses off on them applications when we went for them jobs. And I'm sure a lot of y'all out there did the same thing, man. Have you ever been convicted for? No. No. Yo, man, I know I done checked no plenty of times, man. And I done slid through the cracks and crevices through some joints.
I slid through for about 5 days.
But then there was some joints that put the hammer down like, nah, bro.
Yo, Bull came and he was like, yeah, we had they let me
know,
go.
and it's one thing I do regret. When I was younger, I pretty much took education for granted. I wish I wouldn't have did that. I was a pretty intelligent kid in school.
You was on your Coogee rap. When I was 5 years old, I realized it was a role at the end. I would win lots of pots of gold.
No, I ain't gonna say that, but you know, school just wasn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I knew the work. I could do the work in, you know, certain areas.
Were you bored or was it?
Probably got my ADD, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? We all got a little ADD, you know what I mean? You sitting in school, I mean, after a certain amount of time, you just start losing focus and, you know what I mean? So when it came to like really buckling down and really taking it serious, if I would have did that, I probably would have excelled a whole lot more in life. So I definitely, that's a regret that I wish I would have, you know, I could go back and change, take my education a whole lot more serious. Cause I ain't really had nobody in my life to really tell me, like,
steer me in
the right direction. Like, it was a lot of stuff as I got older that I learned. I was like, damn, I could have did that.
Right.
And that would have helped me right now. You know what I mean? I was like, but I ain't know. You know what I mean? I ain't know. Community college and getting money and loans. And I ain't know. You know what I mean? So, I didn't take a lot of my education serious. So that's something that I regret. And right now, for the younger people out there, there's so much opportunity and so many resources where you can get the information, with the internet, social media, all of that. So take advantage of that stuff, man, because it ain't no excuse now. It ain't no excuse. No. It's no excuse. So that's probably my regret.
Yeah.
But let's move on to some of the what ifs now. Mm-hmm. With those regrets come what ifs. Mm-hmm. What if you would have did those things that you regretted? You know what I mean? Anything in your alley and your resume?
I mean, for me, the biggest
what if?
I don't know if it's a what. I guess it is, because I always think about it. Like, when we started young. You know what I mean? So
started what young?
Building up that rap sheet that you're talking about. You know what I mean? So, but the what ifs is, if you had I'm thinking about Ro. Ro touched on it one time. He was like, I chose to go a certain path. Mm-hmm. But if you didn't go that path, then what do you think may have happened? For me, I think it was sports. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I know you got something similar, you know what I mean? But because I had it where I was good at it, but at the same time, it wasn't my predicament, my state of mind at the time. It wasn't going to bring what I needed immediately right then.
At that moment.
And that's what was more important to me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So the what ifs is, I would have got a free education. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? To some of the stuff that we talked about. And although you wouldn't have, quote unquote, used it at that time, but, once you done with, trying to go as far as you can take it, mm-hmm. you got something to fall back on. You got something that you gain. And, for a lot of people out there, it's an opportunity to use these free resources to put you ahead of the masses. Right. Because it's competitive when you come out here and you go to these jobs and, different, things that you want to do. Right. A lot of stuff, I've seen it happen. You don't have to have experience, but that sheet of paper.
Yeah, that education.
That gets you bumped up the head of the line.
That hard work.
Now you can start applying some stuff, but you done skip so many people to get there. Mm-hmm. So that for me, that would be I think my biggest what if is, because.
So do you think that was your purpose? And are you living in your purpose right now, being a 50 plus?
Yeah, I don't want to say that was my purpose, because I don't, you know what I mean? Like, again, and I didn't have anybody to steer me, mm-hmm. Per se. Now, where I was being steered at, I would say that's more my purpose than playing sports, and that's church. Okay. You know what I mean? So again, that's because I was being groomed for that. Right. And a lot of times, just like people that end up, it's very difficult for you to just, as a young person, just find your way to the highest levels of sports without somebody steering.
Well, not sports. I'm
just saying. I'm just thinking, because I said sports.
I'm basically saying find your purpose.
Right. In general.
Right. Like all of y'all that know us, y'all know we know our barber Terrence. Mm-hmm. He found his purpose at 11 years old. Mm-hmm. That's not normal. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And he's still living in his purpose. Myself, my what if is if I would have followed the epiphany that God told me what my purpose was. Because when it came to me, I was like, damn, this is it. This is it. And I felt it. And throughout my life, through these 10 decades, it always come back to haunt me. Always come back to haunt me. So when something just keep coming back to you in your life and keep coming back to you, and it's something that you got that you're passionate about, that's your purpose. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm sitting here today. in front of this camera right now because this is my purpose. You know what I mean? To be in the entertainment industry, to you know, music or whatever it is, because throughout my whole life, this is what I wanted to do. Besides sports, of course, you know, all of us boys, we all want to play sports. But what if I would have followed that purpose and really recognized it?
No telling.
Ain't no telling. You know, with the grind that I got, the passion, the way I move, and, you know, ain't no telling where I would have been now, you know. So don't give up on your purpose if you know what your purpose is, y'all. 50 and over, it don't matter what your age is. If you feel it in your spirit, you feel it in your heart, it ain't gonna go nowhere. That fire just gonna keep burning and burning and burning till your day you die. And you're gonna live back with what we just talked about, with regrets that you never did it. You know what I mean? So go out there and do it, man.
And it's funny you say that, right?
Go out there and do it.
Talking about what ifs and purpose. So a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of people know my dad or knew my dad. He was a master mechanic in the Air Force.
Oh yeah, I forgot Mr. Phil used to work on cars.
Yeah, he was a master mechanic in the Air Force. So he worked on the jets in the Air Force. And I don't know what it was. Like, I really never had a passion to be a mechanic, but I always wanted to go to the service and fly jets. I loved it. And that's what I wanted to do, like from little.
Right.
And one of the reasons I never went into the service is some of the stuff that we done discussed already. You know what I mean? Some of the regrets.
Yeah.
You know, but it's funny you say that because recently, and I just talked to Quee about it. I'm driving and I don't know if I was taking him to the airport. Well, anyway, I'm in a car with a pilot.
Right.
And we talking, we got a good conversation going. We busting it up. You know, so I'm telling them, you know, yeah, I always wanted to, you know, fly. So we start talking about the difference in commercial flying and, you know, coming, because I asked him, did you come from the service? Were you, you know what I mean, a civilian? He was like, no, I was a civilian. You know what I mean? Like, I just went. So we started talking and he was like, I let him know, I said, man, I always wanted to fly. I always wanted to fly. He was like, how old are you? I was like, I'm 54. He was like, it's not too late.
Yeah, it ain't. It's not.
He was like, yo, it's not too late.
It's not.
He started telling me what he did to do it. He was like, first thing you do is, he was like, it ain't too late.
Let me tell y'all something. If you physically, mentally capable of doing whatever it is that you passionate about doing, that you think is your purpose, you better get your ass out there and try to do it. For real. I don't care if you're 50, 55, 60, go out there and do it. All it takes is one yes and boom, you out of here. You're going to get a whole lot of no's. It ain't going to be easy. If you're trying to, it depends what you're trying to do. If you're trying to accomplish something and, you know, get to a certain, you know, level, you know, you're going to have to put the work in. That's just part of it. You know what I mean? But if you physically and mentally capable of doing it, go out there and do it, man.
Yeah, that's what he
go
said.
Out there and do it.
He said, go
out there and do it.
And I know right where it's at because I drive by it all the time. He said, go in, have a conversation with them, let them know what you want to do. He's like, they're going to take, you know, you pay, but he's like, they're going to take you up.
Yeah.
You know, put you in it, let you do it. He's like, go. He said, what I recommend, he's like, go up and see how, once you come down, see how you feel. He was like, boom, if you like, go up again. He was like, and you just keep doing it until you get it. He was like, then once you get it, he was like, then you can, you know, it's like stairs to it. You get that certification, then you move on to the next one. Then he said that's all he did. He was like, he said, this is commercial flights. He's a commercial pilot.
Right.
He's been flying for, I don't know, 25 years. He's been a pilot. But he said, there's co-pilots. He was like, the co-pilots don't have a whole bunch of experience.
No, they don't have nothing.
He was like,
I got a friend that's a pilot. Shout out to Nay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was like, co-pilots, a lot of co-pilots don't have a whole bunch of experience. That's why they co-pilots. He was like, but they co-pilots making 150 a year.
Yeah, they make some bread.
You know what I mean? So yep. he told me straight up. He was like, I was like 54. He's like, it ain't too late.
Yeah. So, you know, y'all 50 and over people.
So y'all might see me flying some planes out to Detroit.
Welcome to United Airlines. This is your Captain Philip White. Yeah. This flight from Philadelphia to Orlando is approximately 2.5 hours. We'll be landing at 5:05. Yeah, that might be you, bro. You know, you never know. But like I was getting ready to say, you know, y'all 50 and overs, man, don't sit back just because you older and letting the rest of your life go to waste. No, you still got a lot left in your tank, man. Get out there and make it happen. You know, a lot of people, you work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week and to retire at 65 years old. The lifespan is 75 years old? So you work all them years to enjoy 10 years of your life. Man, you better get out here and do what you want to do, man. If you ain't became a millionaire now, you better roll the dice and take a chance on your dreams, or you might regret it. Just like today, you know, everything that I'm going through, I wasn't going to do the show today.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I knew all week, I was like, shit. You know, I'm cool, but I was like, I don't feel like doing it, and this, that, and this third. Then I'm like, no, the show got to go on.
Right.
If I wouldn't have did it, I would have regretted it.
Right.
I would have regretted it. I'd have been like, nah, I could have did it. You know what I mean? I could have did it. So, you know what I mean? Don't hold yourself back, man. Get out there and make it happen, man. You know what I mean? Live your dream, man.
Yep.
Live your life. But let's talk about something else. Far as being here 10 decades and
5 decades.
Well, yeah, 5 decades.
On the way to 10.
Yeah, we definitely gonna get to 10. 5 decades and some of the lessons times taught us. Let's talk about the value of relationships, which is very, very important. Yeah. You have your love relationships, you have your family relationships, you have your friendship relationships, and this a deep one here. Wow. Some of those relationships last your whole life, like your family. Sometimes your family relationships, your family ain't even your family. A lot of your family is your friends, people you've met along your journey. Yeah, I mean, all relationships ain't meant to last forever neither. So let's tap into the value relationships. And like I was saying, not all relationships are meant to last forever. How do you know that though? How do you think if a relationship is meant to last, or is there a cutoff period or expiration date in a relationship?
It depends on the type of relationship.
That's true. Which one you want to tap into? You want to tap into your relationship with a spouse or girlfriend, family, friends? Which one you want to start with?
I mean, the most intricate, you know what I mean, the most complicated is, of course, relationship.
Yeah, with your significant other.
Significant other.
Yeah.
You know, that's the one that takes the most work. And that word might sound strange to some, but for a relationship to work, you gotta put work in.
Oh yeah, it's definitely work.
You know, so you know, there's a lot to that.
Well, with that, when it comes to that, with you and your significant other, the hardest thing to do in a relationship, I mean, you're trying to make two people one. That's more than work. It takes a lot to do that. You know, it's a lot of sacrificing, a lot of compromising. What I've learned, it's a lot of conscious decisions. You have to make a decision. You have to make a lot of decisions that things that you might not agree with, things that you might not want to do. But if this is the person that you're saying you're going to be with, you got to make that decision in your mind first and say, this is my person. No matter what we go through, I mean, if it ain't detrimental or you know, life-threatening, this is my person. And you gonna go through some shit. I'm pretty sure all y'all out there know that's been in relationships. Like, you've been married and been with your wife for what? How long? 30 plus years?
Yeah, be 30,
so
31.
When you with somebody them amount of years, it come with some shit. So it's a conscious decision first and foremost, I think.
Yeah. And
y'all both really have to sit down and make that decision. Like, all right, no matter what we go through, if it ain't this or that, we gonna get through it. So yeah. I mean,
it's a you hit the nail on the head. Like it's a conscious decision
continuously
that you make to even go from two separate people to let's come together and build a relationship.
Yeah.
Because if you never get to that point, because to me, and this is how I think. Now I don't know how the women think.
Right.
But I know as a man how I thought going into the situation is, like you said, this is my person, or I would like this to be.
Right.
Let's see if we can move toward. Once I made that conscious decision, right now, don't get me wrong, you need the same thing being reciprocated from the other party.
That's very important what you just said.
Right.
It has to be reciprocated in both ways.
Right. You definitely need that, but only thing you can do as a person is what you
bring to the table. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
you can't control how that other person is going to respond, how they're going to react.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? And that's why I say, all right, let's come together and try to make this work, because all the time it don't work.
And it was something you said to me. We were on this topic, and like I said, all relationships don't last forever. And we was talking about a situation that, you know, just in general. And you said it all boiled down to when you're in that relationship with that significant other, realizing as soon as possible if this is your person, and if not, let it go and go try to find that one that is your right fit. Yeah. And when you said that, I was like, damn, whew, that was heavy. Because a lot of us, we hold on and we hold on and we hold on, and then your spirit and then your intuition, you know, this ain't my person. This just ain't working the way that it's supposed to be going. So, and it takes a lot. You might care about this person. You might love this person. You might really, really want to be with this person. This person might have a whole lot of good qualities, but in your spirit, you know, this ain't it. So when you said that, he's like, you got to figure it out quick. You got to figure it out quick, or you're gonna be stuck. There's a lot of people, it's a lot of y'all out there that's stuck like, this bitch, and a lot of y'all women like, this motherfucker, and you done got 20, 25 years in. You know what I mean? Yeah. Then you wind up getting divorced. Yo, you done wasted a quarter of a century with somebody. Yo.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's deep. It's a lot to it. It's you know, it's complicated. It's a lot of complexities. But the main thing is you being the best person that you can be for that person that you love. And I think most relationships don't work because and this is me talking over the years, just talking to a lot of different people in a lot of different relationships.
Right, because y'all counsel, counsel.
We do a lot of counseling. Yeah,
y'all counsel couples.
So I think a lot of people, they never really, as an individual, because like I said, she can't make you something, and you can't make her nothing.
You can't change nobody.
But as an individual, I think a lot of people really never make that conscious decision that you talked about, that, you know what, I'm going to do everything in my power to make the person that I want to spend time with happy. Now,
no, because you can't be responsible for somebody else's happiness.
No. And you're not, because, and when I say that, I mean, you're right. I'm not responsible for your happiness.
Right.
But I'm going to do everything in my power
to do what's right to try to make this relationship work.
I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that I'm someone that you can depend on, someone that you feel as though is going to protect you. You know, I'm that's what I bring to the table.
Right.
So when I say that, like, in my mind right away, I'm thinking about 30 plus years of a relationship with the same person.
Right.
You know how many times there's been things that she may want to do? I don't want to do that.
Absolutely.
But because this is who I love and I know this is what she loves to do, babe, let's do that.
But let me tap on that. And then out of your good heart, you wound up enjoying it because you're doing it with the person that you love and you making her happy.
Yeah, it's you never have a bad time when you
with the person you want to be with.
Right, when you spending time with the person you want to be with.
Whether you wanted to do it or not.
You know the saying, like the gym, just getting there is the hardest thing. Once you get there, you good.
Yeah, you good.
You know, so it's and I say that because over the years, I talked to so many different people. There's a lot of different stuff that I've talked to people, they be like, oh, no. That's a deal breaker. That's a no-go. That's a no-go. Now, don't get me wrong. If she's sitting here on this sofa, I'm sure she can say the same exact thing. Yeah. Because that's what I mean by when it works, it's both people reciprocating the same type of energy. It's a lot of stuff that I do. She like, football again? You know what I mean? Like, but all right, babe, let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when you got that as a relationship, but all you can do as an individual is just put your best foot forward and do everything in your power to make sure that you doing something that's going to be not put her in a dampen her spirits or put her, in a bad place or put her feeling like she got to compete with somebody else. And
exactly.
That's what you can do to bring to the table. You got to make a decision to do that.
Make a decision.
Because guess what?
Yeah.
Every day you got to make that decision. Like you said, a continual decision.
It's a continuous. Because it's going to be moments. It's going to be moments. Like I said, you're going to be like, this bitch.
Yeah.
And the girl's going to be like, this motherfucker. And you be like, I'm out.
Right.
And then you got to pull it back. Like, right. I made this conscious decision that this is my person.
And that goes with, especially, and shout out to our barber, Terrence. You know what I mean? He was just talking to him when I was over the house. He was like, he was like, who's more loyal? Who you think is more loyal in a relationship, a man or a woman? And he asked a couple of us in there. I'm like, that's not even, to me, it's not even close. I mean, I don't even think it's a question. But the bottom line of that is, it don't matter. You got to continually make that conscious decision.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Every day.
That if this is my person and I want to make her happy and she's not with swinging and with multiple relationships and all that. If she not with that, then I got to make the conscious decision every single day.
Every day.
To make sure that I'm not doing anything that's going to bring hurt to her.
Yep.
Every day. It's 20 years
and
later.
Vice versa.
Vice versa. Absolutely. You got to be reciprocated from both for the relationship to work. But guess what? I found out. And this is what I tell people a lot of times, especially as a man. See, a lot of times as men, we don't want to be the first one to put our foot forward. No, you got it. You know what I mean? Like, I shouldn't have to do that.
Well, it's a different day and time too now.
Okay.
Back in the day.
How far back?
Let's say what? I mean, you can go back to
70s,
60s, 60s, 70s. You can go back to then. You know what I mean? That ain't long ago.
No, it's not that far.
Where, you know, the man did all, you know what I mean, went out, made all the money, and the woman stayed home and
barefoot in the kitchen.
Took care of the kids, took care of the house, and, you know, Pops had wife, your moms, and had the girl around the corner or the one on the other side of town, and it was all good because he was taking care of home. You know what I mean? It ain't that type of party right now, you know what I mean? No more. I mean, it's still being done, but the way I look at it, like, how can you say you really love that person? You know what I mean? When you out there, you know, indulging like that.
I mean, to me, you can say it if the person is okay with it.
Yeah. So being straight up, being honest.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if we come like, hey, this is who I am, you know what I mean? Like, this is what I do, this is how I'm doing. Like, you cool with it?
I need 2 more Johns in the bedroom. You know what I mean? With it or what?
Right.
That's cool.
I'm good with it.
That's cool.
Okay. You good.
That's part of being, you gotta be straight up.
But when you like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, you start feeling like you gotta be a different person.
Sneaking.
Yeah. Now,
that ain't a good feeling.
No.
I mean, I've been there, I've done it. That anxiety is so high, yo.
Right.
Because you got to tell lie after lie after lie after lie. Like, you can't keep up with that shit.
And to me, like, and that's what, when you said that continual conscious decision.
Continuous,
because
every day.
To me, I consciously, for 30 plus years, I make the conscious decision that I'm not going to do nothing stupid to ruin
what you got. It ain't
her
worth
happiness.
It ain't worth it.
And I know that's the number one thing that's going to ruin it.
Yeah.
So why would I? Has there been opportunity? Is there always opportunity? Absolutely.
Yeah, we need to make big black families popular again. You know, 2-parent households popular again. You know what I mean? Black marriages popular again. You know, and not break up so much, but like we said, make that conscious decision, you know, men and women. I ain't gonna say just men, I ain't gonna say just women. Both of y'all gotta make that conscious decision. I wanna talk about, since we're on the relationships, I wanna talk about, we done talked about significant other relationships.
Family?
Let's tap into family relationships now a little bit. Because not all families are family.
I'm about to say,
you know,
most family, like your family, end up not even being blood. Most people.
Yeah, I said that when we started.
You know what I'm saying? Like your closest confidants, people you really confide in, people that, you know what I mean, like you spend a lot of time, people you go on vacation with. Most of the time, that's not your blood.
And that's not all families.
No, it's not all.
It's not all
but
families.
Most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time.
Is not the case. You know, so to me, when you say family, I'm talking about
blood family.
Okay, you talking about blood family.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that
right
a little more.
So blood family, like, okay, so let me take, there's a big contrast that I see all the time. And you can probably chime in. I don't know which side of the fence you is on this, but my family, we not close.
Right.
None of it. I mean, like me and my sister, of course, but like first cousins, we not close. Like every now and then we, you know what I mean? And that's something that maybe somebody else got to pick the ball up. But, you know, one of our older aunts, like she would have like a, you know, family reunion, like every now and then. And it's, you know, it's sporadic.
It's the same here. You know, like I said, what recently happened with me with my health, I had to get on the phone and call my family. And I'm talking to my cousins and I ain't talked to them in a while. And now I got to be the bearer of bad news. You know what I mean? My aunts, you know. So it's like, I definitely get what you're saying.
But some families,
funerals, that's when they
right.
We gotta stop that.
Yeah, stop. I mean? Well, that be the reunion.
Yeah, man. You know, and but some families are close.
Yes,
and
that's what I talked about, the contrast. That's my wife's.
Yeah, I love seeing families that's close.
They close.
That. You know, I've always wanted to be part of that or have that. You know what I mean? That was always one of my goals of Well, I'm gonna say as I've gotten older, I realized how important that was, you know. And I've always wanted that growing up as a kid because I never had that. That's very important, having that close knit family. I mean, I love seeing close knit families. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know how we get like that. You know, I guess it's a lot of trauma.
Yeah,
a lot of
it's definitely hereditary. You know what I mean? Like you're taught it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say taught it.
Well, you not sit down and teach you, but you just learn it from just how your parents move.
Right.
Because my parents they was like that.
Yeah.
They wasn't close.
Yeah, exactly. So I would definitely like to see a lot of the young people, like we was talking about the Travis Hunter situation with him and his wife, and they having a baby. I would love to see them have a successful family. I don't care what nationality she is, or because they're young, they're gonna go through stuff, but they gotta make that conscious decision that we were talking about, like, yo, we each other persons. No matter what they saying out there, we're gonna go through this and we're gonna build our family. That's where it starts, you know what I mean? That's where it starts. It starts when you young. So a lot of y'all young people out there, if you watching, yo, find that one person, make that conscious decision and build on that. Because when you running around, when you get 50 years old and you still running around, man, that shit get old. You know what I mean? You get sick or something, or you got to make a life decision. But you gonna call the joint you knocking off? No, you need somebody that's been there with you, that you can trust in those situations. So, you know, my advice to people out there that's young, find that person, try to find that person early and just rock out with it. You know what I mean? Y'all grow together, you know? Yeah. But family, man, y'all love seeing them close-knit families, man. Yeah. And it's a shame that, you know, that families aren't close like that. You know. Yeah,
like I and like you said, you don't know, like, when does it happen? How does it happen? I think it's just
I think it's a generational thing too. Because as you go back further, the further you go back, you see more close-knit families. I guess because you had to be close-knit back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we all we got.
well, no, right now, as we're moving more and more forward, families are branching off. It's pretty much whoever you live with under that roof, that's your family.
Right.
You might be blood outside of that, but under this roof, this is what it is right here. You know what I mean? You know.
But I just think about, like I said, when I was alluding to the contrast, my wife, her family, they close. Now, don't get me wrong. Every family, you know, you got arguments, you got falling outs.
Right.
Yeah, that happened, you know, all the time. But close to the point where, and I'm just looking at the contrast. I think about my family. I got first cousins that's in New York.
That you ain't seen in
New York.
2 hours.
It's a 2 hours drive, man. I ain't seen my first cousins, yo, in decades. Decades. They 2 hours away.
Right.
But my wife, they'll put, like, right now, they putting a cruise together. Close-knit family.
That's important.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so how do you do it? Like, how does it happen or don't happen?
Yeah.
I think it comes with being intentional, putting a cruise together. Somebody having a family reunion. You know what I mean? Like, because guess what? When I think about it, I think about my wife. She like, oh, we might be talking. She be like, oh, it's such and such birthday. One of her cousins.
Right.
I'm like, I don't know none of my cousins' birthday. None of them.
Right.
The birthday I know is the people that's under this roof, like you talked about. My mom, my sister, my dad. That's it.
That's it.
So, but when you intentional about it, when it's everybody is being taught just by the kids looking, because I think about my cousins.
It goes back to the significant other thing, making that conscious effort. You know what I mean? Yeah. You got to make that conscious effort.
Like, I don't like also. I see him, like my one cousin that I think we're more alike, and it's crazy because I hadn't seen him and we were kids last time I saw him, and we finally linked up. This is maybe like 10 years ago. We linked up. I went out New York and we met at a restaurant. We busted up. And you know, we had a good relationship. Like, yo, I mean, shout out to my cousin Jamel. You know what I mean? Like, and it's crazy because when I first, you know, I hadn't seen him, you know, pictures, but I'm seeing him in person. He looked more like my dad than I do.
Wow.
So I'm like, yo, he looked like my dad when my dad was, you know, like his Air Force pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, just to, you know, we busting it up. He like, man, he like, this crazy. He was like, I don't mess with nobody in the family.
Yeah.
He said, cause they not like me.
But that's sad to say. You know what I mean? That's sad.
So you gotta have that conscious effort, because I don't even forget us. What I start thinking about is I'm thinking about our kids.
Yeah. Kids running around here could be talking to their cousins and don't even know.
They don't even know.
Don't even know it.
Because the family's not close.
Because the family's not close.
So you can be somewhere that, you know, 5 years from now, you sit right next to your cousin. You don't have no clue. That's your first cousin. You don't even know because y'all not close.
Yeah.
So that's what I be thinking about. You know, forget about us, but like the kids, we're basically robbing them from an opportunity to be close with their family, because we're not close and we're not being intentional to get us together so they can
to make it a family.
Yeah, so they can get that relationship. So, you know, 10 years, 20 years, we ain't even here no more. They having family reunions.
Yep.
You know, so that's important, man. But it's definitely a contrast. There's some that's not close at all, and some that's very close.
Yeah. So with that being said, y'all man.
Yeah.
Men knows grudges with your families, man. It's a lot of families out there that got grudges with each other. I mean, mad at each other. She did this, she did that, even fighting each other. You know what I mean? So, I mean, men knows things, man. Life ain't, you ain't gonna be here forever, man. And really, family, you need your family. You need your family. Yeah. You know, you might get sick one day and you might need a kidney from your cousin that you hate. And your cousin be like, no, I ain't giving that motherfucker my kidney. Family member might save your life one day. So, you know, I mean, men knows those grudges, man. We done talked about the significant other, the family, blood family. Let's talk about the friendships, the value in the friendships. You know what I mean? We've been friends for how long?
I don't know. I was what, 6?
It might have been earlier than that. You was still on the stoop.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When I remember, I was 6 when I was able to come outside.
Man, we go way back.
So you fix 6. That's 77.
Yeah, because I moved up Logan in 76. So I guess you was about 5 years old. You know what I mean? So let's touch on that and our friendship as friends. Of course, I'm a little bit older than he. He was 5. I was older, running around and up and down the street. He wasn't even able to come off the step. Shout out to Nana. And we've been friends ever since, man. It's a long time. He didn't probably seen me, you know, grow, evolve from probably everything I've been through in my life, besides me being a toddler. See me grow, see me evolve, see me go through stuff. And he's always accepted me for who I was, no matter what. That's a friend. This is a true friend. I can say out of all the friends that I have, it's probably one of my longest friends. Someone that I can trust with anything about me. Someone that I could be myself around at all times. I love him to death. I'll do anything for him. If somebody fuck with him, you gotta fuck with big bro first. We loyal to each other. So when you say friend, this my day ones, you know how people, a lot of people take that out of context. How you feel about that, bro?
And it's funny because, like, I don't have a lot of friends, and a lot of, and it's, I'm going back now to have
now. Let's not get it misconstrued.
Okay.
you got friends, you got associates.
Well, see, that's what I was about
we
to
know.
exactly
We know a lot of people,
right?
And that's all of us,
right,
50 plus year olds. We know a lot of people, but when you narrow it down to your friends,
what's your definition of that?
Right.
And and what I started to say is exactly what you just said. I remember having a conversation with Jada, my daughter, when she was going to college.
Right.
And Jada, she something else. So I'm like, dude, that's your friend. Nah, see, that's not my friend. That's my associate. Right.
Yeah, Jada. Shout out to Niecy. Niecy is something else. Yeah.
So I'm like, I think that's your friend. No, that's my associate. So there, it's all in how you define
your friend.
You know what I mean? And that's why I say I don't have a lot of friends. We know a lot of people. I'm cool with a lot of people.
Right.
I guess I got a lot of associates. But a friend, like you said, is somebody that, to me, is somebody that you can share something with. Like not just what movie you saw last, but you can share some real stuff.
Everything. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can share some real stuff with them, and it's gonna stay right there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
and they're not gonna look at you different.
Right.
That's important.
You know what I mean? So and I mean, like you said, it's you can loosely throw it day one and all that, but it's not a whole lot of people that you really can confide in. That's going to be there for you, going to call you out when you're wrong. You know what I mean? Going to praise you when you know what I mean? When you deserve the praise.
Yep.
And that's no matter how much money you making or how big of a status you get, you need a couple people like that in your life.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
I would say, and we talked about this in one of the other episodes, of the pod, but we got I think a tight knit. This late in life, we got a tight knit friendship.
A core friend.
Yeah, it's couple handfuls of us.
Yeah.
That's pretty tight, and we can get on the phone and make a phone call, and they'll come over. You know what I mean, and they'll move if we need it. So, but it's important to have. But to me, that's what we start to talk about. To me, that's friends. That's really family. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's y'all my family.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
You know what I mean? So
100%.
We do stuff together. You know what I mean? Our ladies, know each other. They go places together. We go on trips together. We go to concerts together. Like, we doing barbecues together. We over each other's houses.
Yeah.
That's family. Yeah. To me.
Yeah, we started that young.
Yeah,
we started that young. I think that was important, how we started young, doing stuff together, and, staying out 4 a.m, just listening to hip hop all night, Girlfriends like, damn, where you was at? I was with, you know what I mean, with no, you wasn't. No, yes, I was. That's how close we was, That's important, and it's a lot of it's groups out there, men and women out there. It's like that. So I ain't gonna say we exclusive or we're different, but it's important to have those type of people in your life. And it's important that y'all agree to disagree at times, because that's part of it that holds it together too. Because you ain't gonna agree with your people all the time. And
neither nor should you.
No, and you shouldn't. But at the end of the day, once it's all said and done, it should come right back to where it was, So, we probably got the same amount of friends. All our friends are the same. We got one circle. I always been like, loyal to my people, and I always told y'all loyalty was always important. And we never let a lot of people into the circle.
Right.
I wasn't allowing that. So, just to protect us and what we had. That was important to me. Like, I know what we have is genuine. And outside of trying to infiltrate, nah. You know what I mean? The energy, I'm like, nah, I'm not messing with y'all. Y'all, you know how I get down. Like, nah, I'm cool with you. You know what I mean? You're not a friend. You're just associate. So you know who your friends are, you know, just from the energy, just from your relationships and all that. So I hope a lot of y'all 50 plus people out there know who your friends are. I'm pretty sure y'all do.
Because it's all about
keep
action.
them close.
You know what I mean?
Keep
It's
them
about
close.
action, not
keep them close.
You know, a lot of people do a lot of
talk,
but you know, your actions prove, you know, where you really stand at.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely. Well, we ain't even got enough time to cover everything, man.
So I mean, it's, you know, 5 decades.
Plus. Yeah. We gonna like I said, we definitely want to be an advocate for the 50 and plus people. We definitely gonna come back and talk about some more, you know, 50 plus stuff.
Yeah.
And give out some value.
But this stuff is important though.
It's very important. Very important.
It's important.
You know, we want to definitely keep encouraging y'all to keep going. Don't think you old. Don't give up. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on them ideals. You know, if you can think it, you can make it happen. If you can see it, you can make it happen. You know, love on your family, man. Love on your family, man. Don't wait to the funerals and, you know, you reading this eulogies. Like, I just been to 2 funerals to 2 close friends. And don't wait till then. You know what I mean? Give your people they flowers and they love now. Give it to them now, man. Tell them you love them. You know what I mean? Show up, pop up. Yo, let's go out. Let's chill. You know, hug them. You know what I mean? Love your people now. Don't wait till they gone, man. Your health. Take care of your health, y'all. You know what I mean? Take care of your health. Like I said, I'm going through some serious health issues. I'm going to be cool, though. I got this. Knock it out real quick. You know what I mean? And just stay preventive. That, you know, love on your spouse. Try to mend those grudges that you got with your family. And live a good life, man. Yeah. You know? What you got to end on,
I mean, it's you know, just to kind of touch base on what you said, man. It's very important to prioritize. You know, be intentional. You know, with everything that you do, but you know, the things that's going to lead. If we're talking about, you know, 5 decades plus, it's time to be intentional
on everything you do.
You know what I mean?
Because that's where I'm at. Like, with my therapy, with my health, relationships, everything is intentional right now with me. You know, I'm doing things with intention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And logic. You know, so
because it's you know, it's you know, with the health piece, and I know, you know, we all making that transition. Like I told you, I kept saying to myself, because you know when it's time to make a change. You know when you're not doing what's best for you. And I always said to myself, when I turn 50, I was going to like flip that switch.
Right.
And it didn't happen when I was 50.
It ain't no switch to flip.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's gradual.
Exactly.
It's gradual.
So get out there.
Just
do your
start.
Research. Yeah. Start chipping away at it. Start eating better. Start, you know, finding, you know, one thing I realized about diet is of course, when you're used to eating something, that's the best thing to you. But there's so many different alternatives and different ways to make it and once I started gradually working my way into eating better and cutting out the fast food and all the different stuff, I started realizing, like, man, I can eat this salad. This salad just as good as a Big Mac.
Man, I've been on salads all summer.
Listen, you know what I mean? Like, so be intentional, prioritize getting out there and just slowly, gradually eating better, learning different things that you can eat. Start, you know, walking, you know what I mean? Like, if you still getting up and moving, ain't no excuse. You can walk, you know what I mean? Walk around the block, then do 2 times around the block.
Yeah.
You know, so just start prioritizing health, because guess what? We only get one of these.
And I want to add on to that. everything you said is correct. But here's something that's very important. Make sure you're thankful and grateful for what you have. Mm-hmm. You know, we always praying about things that we want, mm-hmm. and always want. Be thankful and grateful for what you have. Mm-hmm. Your health, your protection, roof over your head. You might want that new car, but that piece of shit that you got out there, be thankful for that. You know what I mean? Be thankful and grateful for what you have. On that note, we're going to go ahead and end this, man. Mm-hmm. Make sure y'all check out the pod on all streaming platforms for the audio. If you haven't watched past episodes, make sure you go back and check out some of the past episodes. We hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Make sure y'all look out for episodes coming in the future, because we on episode 23. We ain't stopping. We're going to keep going. Like I said, I ain't want to do today's episode, mm-hmm. but I would have regretted it. So we're going to keep on pushing. On that note, we're at the pod. I'm your host, Dwayne Weathers.
It's your boy, Phil White.
We out. Peace.